What a historic night last night for the debut of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. 2 links down below, as always, to credit the WWE for piecing these articles together. One being the text result and the other one being the video recap, which is actually only 8 minutes long. And I have a bad feeling my recap will somehow be longer than that. But let's try to get through this very quickly. So it starts off for the first several minutes with Triple H showing a cold open vignette promo of the history of professional wrestling. It was on YouTube. I think Jonathan Coachman and a couple of other people kind of complained that it took too long, and it just shouldn't have taken that long. I don't see it as a big deal. It was the first of its kind for the Netflix Raw, so I didn't see anything wrong with it. The whole thing took less than 10 minutes. I mean, The Undertaker walking down the aisle takes longer than that, which is why yesterday they probably had him go on the motorcycle because, you know what I'm saying? So anyhow, the logos that you're going to have on the mat are Snickers, Netflix, Fortnite, really, right dead center of the ring, the Real American Beer, which is in 2 corners, and then you have the Riyadh Weekend, I think, logos, I think it says, on the opposite corners, so like Real American Beer. I can't because my camera's reversed, like this on opposite ends, and then the Riyadh, and then in the middle you have Fortnite, and then on one side you have the Snickers. Anyhow, so that was that on a black mat. I thought it was going to be red, but maybe red was going to be like too bright unless it's a crimson red. The Rock came out, and oh my God, the pop was absolutely insane. He was shaking hands with the fans. There was no insults. It was the Final Boss music. It was the Final Boss outfit, but we didn't get the Final Boss attitude. We just got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Very, very nice. Talked about Cody Rhodes carrying the company for the better part of the past year and how he had shed blood with him, shed his blood, and that he'd be willing to do it again. Did people forget that he mentioned that? Because he did say he would do it again, but he also gave him a shout out, right, when he was looking at him, because he was like behind Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, right, sitting at ringside along with some other superstars and celebrities. And then he jokingly said, "Tell Mama Rhodes I say hello." So the whole thing was like in good fun, and Cody Rhodes like, "Oh yeah, oh thank you," right? Now let's talk about that actually in a moment. Then he acknowledges Roman Reigns as the real tribal chief, and here's what I'm thinking: what happened to this Rock? They're even wearing the same thing, right? This was last night. This was last year, but I mean not all that long ago. I mean a little while ago, and I'm just like, what happened? I don't know. I have to admit, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I'm not here to critique it and shit down. Okay? Bad blood. What happened to this thing? The whole, like, whoops. Again, Final Boss. You could see it there in the lighting. I didn't see any of that yesterday. I was paying close attention. I'm sure you were paying close attention as well. If you did watch the show, I don't know what is going on, to be honest with you. Now, we could say, let's be patient. We could say, hey, we were here to start things off. You know, like thinking as The Rock, maybe I'm just letting them have their flowers. Now that that's settled, now let's get down to business. I'm coming for you. Whoever he's going to go after. Maybe he's going to go after Roman Reigns. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to spend too much time discussing that. That could almost be its own video. But that's my thoughts on that really quick, is that I was confused. I wasn't complaining. I was confused. There's a difference. What happened there? That's all I'm saying. Alicia Taylor rocked it on the mic. I have to admit, she had a really, really nice outfit. And when she introduced Solo for the match, and obviously for the rest of the night, because she's the main, mic girl for the introduction. I gotta say, the more I pay attention, she's really good. She's really good. So I'm happy for her. That was some good stuff. Roman Reigns won the battle against Solo Sikoa for the Ula Fala. This felt like a world championship title match. It was awesome. And then Tama Tonga was pulling the ref out. Jacob Fatu comes out. Solo spiked ref Chad Patton and Sammy and Jimmy come out. You know what I mean? Then like Kevin Owens stuns Roman Reigns, tries to get Solo to pin him. Roman Reigns looked really, really strong. Kicked out. Kevin Owens goes to pile drive Roman Reigns. But that didn't happen now, did it? Because Cody Rhodes, for a second, I was like, what, The Rock? Huh? Cody Rhodes came out to save the day. And that's the part I have to admit I wanted to see, because Roman Reigns had helped Cody Rhodes on a couple of occasions. And then there was a couple of occasions where Roman Reigns wasn't doing so good. And what happened? Cody Rhodes didn't come out. Again, from a scripted perspective, obviously I get that. I'm just saying, and they didn't have that. And then The Rock came out. This wasn't really out of place because The Rock was always on the side of Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns was heel. Now he's a face. So with that, maybe that's why The Rock went face. Like, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. It is interesting. And then he crowned Roman Reigns with the Ula Fala, took it from Paul Heyman all very nicely. And again, Paul Heyman didn't just, come on, all like snarky, grabbing the mic from Alicia. He was all like, may I? Right? Like, just those gestures are different. So that's how you know that they're definitely not heel. And I'm really enjoying this. It's like it's the same caliber. It's the same excitement. But they don't have to be the bad guy. They don't have to be the good guy. They could just be anything. And for me, this was just an amazing start to Netflix. It really, really was for me. You could see The Rock there with the People's title when he came out for his promo. Helps if I scroll down, and then part of the fight with Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. Then here you could see him greeting. I better not. You know, I'm thinking of this now going into my second year on my wrestling channel, and I'm like, I hope they never copyright strike me for just showing the pictures, because like I said a couple of years ago, Take-Two Interactive, which is a parent company of 2K, or however the fancy word goes, they actually struck my YouTube channel, and I actually fought it, and lawyers got involved. I'm not making this up. I have no reason to lie or make this up. And I ended up almost getting fucking sued, but I won. I fought it through YouTube. They took a look at it and said, it's not worth it. And it isn't worth it because all I had done was actually talked about the trailer for then, I think it was 2K23. I think it was. And I hadn't even shown the trailer. I was just talking about the trailer that had leaked. Didn't even show it. So that's why I still dunk on WWE and 2K, even though I really appreciate them, because they have made my life a living hell on quite a few occasions. But I don't want to spend too much time talking about that. This is the John Cena promo in ring. They are in LA, by the way, and that's why he talked about how there's big history for him there in LA when he was working at Venice Beach Gold's Gym. He was living in his car. He learned how to wrestle there, I believe. The prototype gimmick for John Cena was created in LA. He was thanking the fans. 2,446. So today it's been 2,447 days since John Cena last won a match, and he's saying, you know what? I don't see it. 17-time champ. However, what if I go to the Royal Rumble? He wants to win the Royal Rumble and make history at WrestleMania. Now, when I say who's he going to choose, Cody or Gunther, my point with that, I suppose, like I'd want it to be Cody, assuming Cody wins at the Rumble. And it's not Kevin Owens. This is the part that I'm just admitting to you. Does it matter which title he goes for? Because for me, it mattered for Cody Rhodes which title he was going for. And with the whole Roman Reigns and all that, which is the same title that obviously Cody has now. So from a historical standpoint, I suppose it does make more sense for John Cena to go after Cody Rhodes, not because it's Cody Rhodes, and because he's doing it through the Rumble, That's that one where you can win the Royal Rumble match, head on to WrestleMania, right? Pick your preferred opponent. And there doesn't have to be some crazy story. You can start building that story. In this case, it's February the 1st for the Royal Rumble, February, March, April. Then you have like a couple of months, which is only like 7 or 8 Monday Night Raws or SmackDowns, depending on who the superstar, depending on what brand the superstar is on, to build a story, a little bit of one, to go for the gold. And it's one of those excuses, in my humble opinion, where there doesn't need to be a big story. It's not about hating your guts and years of prior history. It's like, look, man, I just won the Rumble, and I'm selecting you, and that's it. And because Cody Rhodes is so good on the microphone, John Cena's really good on the microphone, who knows? We could end up having them promo against each other and upping each other, and it doesn't have to resort to insults, and it could still be quite entertaining. We'll just have to wait and see how that works. My point is this, and it's not giving it to him. He has been, that's a long time. Like, you do the math. That's almost half a decade. That's a long time that he's been used as a stepping stone, kind of like Natalya has been used. Okay? It's time. It's his last year. There is absolutely nothing wrong with allowing him to flourish this year. It's not giving it to him. I hit my head really hard on the back of my chair, but it's soft, so why'd I even mention it? It's not giving it to him because he's actually earned it. He genuinely seems like one of the best people I've ever heard of. I've never met him. He follows me, but then again, he follows a lot of people. That's not the point. It means that he saw me somewhere along the lines. I got to stop doing that. The round microphones are interesting instead of the square. Just those little details I pay attention to. I am fully on board with him winning the Rumble, going to Mania, and him dethroning Cody Rhodes. And becoming a 17-time record-breaking champion. And that is his legacy. I abso-fucking-lutely believe that he deserves that. He absolutely deserves that accolade over Ric Flair. He does. And that's not an insult to Slick Rick. A little bit of Pepsi. A little bit of coffee. A little bit of a protein shake. My goodness, you'd think I'm on a liquid diet. A little bit of everything. So that's how I feel about that. Well then. This was great. This was a long time coming, and I feel like denying her winning back her championship that she never lost was good, because all it did was elevate the relief that, she did it even more. So Rhea Ripley and Bayley are actually tied for longest reigning women's champ ever. I mean, it showed in the thing. I don't know if it's ever. I thought Trish or maybe somebody else, or Charlotte. No, Charlotte was in like the 180s. Liv is actually right up there with 226 days. That's how long she was as champion. Yeah, Bayley and Rhea, 379. But Rhea would have broken that had she not been legitimately injured. In my humble opinion, in terms of the look, the believability factor, the charisma, the aura, whatever words you want to use, I truly, truly feel, and I think I've said this before, like Rhea Ripley is just on a level I've just never seen before. Just like, what the actual... wow. I'm on board with her getting a Roman Reigns like title reign. I really am, because she's believable. That's just my thoughts on that. But yeah, this was a really good match, and it was very dominating. Very dominant. That double riptide at the end, like, just really looked like, bitch, you're done. And I really enjoyed that. And then at the end of that, the American Badass Undertaker, not the regular Undertaker, the American Badass Undertaker came out to Kids Rock music, because back in the day when he was the American Badass, right, he would come out to Kid Rock's music right at the end, and there was no booze. Now I'm talking about the no booze here because Hulk Hogan, which I forgot to write down because I completely forgot to write it down. There was a short section where Hulk Hogan came out with Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South, and was promoting his beer. I'm not against Hulk Hogan coming out because Hulk Hogan was instrumental in the world of professional wrestling. This was an iconic moment. He didn't ramble on for a half hour. He's not trying to steal the spotlight. Hell, he didn't even go down to the ring. Just came out, talked about his beer, partnered up with the WWE, right? And I didn't think that was a big deal, but he got booed. And a lot of people, and again, I made a whole video dedicated to this yesterday about the whole Real American Beer and all that with the logos in the ring. A lot of people will say the reason he got booed the hell out was because of his political stance. Because if we look at, where is it? It's somewhere. Right here. If we look at this, he makes it very, my goodness, he makes it very apparent that he's a Trump supporter. That's his deal. This was actually just outside before going in. See, Jimmy Hart is there. Now, obviously, he was probably told to take the shirt off, or he just did it on his own, because it says Mega Powers. And you have to admit, that's kind of like, that's actually pretty cool, because if you know anything about Hogan, remember the Mega Powers, right? Tag team. So, back in the days with the Macho Man Randy Savage, when they formed the Mega Powers. So he did Trump, Vance, and Hogan as the Mega Powers. So I thought that was ingenious. So a lot of people will dunk on the fact that it was probably because of his political alignment. Well, here's the thing, though. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a quick moment here. Going back to The Undertaker. The Undertaker is a strong advocate, supporter of Donald Trump. Triple H is known to be a supporter of Donald Trump. He went to the party at Mar-a-Lago, I think it was. And then Stephanie McMahon, and then her mother, Linda McMahon, is a Trump supporter. Vince is a Trump, like the whole thing, right? So they're all like on that side politically. So why does Triple H get a huge pop? Why does The Undertaker get a pretty loud, pretty good, positive reaction, but Hulk Hogan does not? I think it probably has to do with the racial stuff. Again, I don't want to get too deep into it. I've already talked about that in another video. Well, the one just yesterday. Don't want to ruin the mood of this video, but it needs to be addressed. It's a part of wrestling. It's a part of what happened yesterday. I don't know that it was political. I truly don't. Then a lot of people will say, well, it's California. It's a democratic state. It's a blue state. As the terminology goes, I'm Canadian, so I don't always keep up with all those terminologies. I don't think it had to do with that, like I said, because, again, of the reaction to Triple H and the reaction to The Undertaker. Nonetheless, I thought it was really cool, and then they both faced up the ramp. They did the whole arm-raising thing. And I just thought it was really neat. I thought that was like, right there. I just thought it was a great moment. And that's the end of that. I don't think like everything has to be so serious all the time. And that's that. Jey Uso fought Drew McIntyre. This was a great match. Sorry, I looked at the wrong... I was like, what? Oh my goodness. Jeepers. So this was Jey Uso's first win against the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre. But he also won in not like a dominating fashion, not taking anything away from him. What I'm saying is, even though Drew lost, it still made Drew look strong because he was quite dominant. But it showed that Jey can go toe-to-toe with him, was able to pick up that victory, and I feel that that was a very important win for Drew McIntyre. He also has, as stated by Michael Cole, one of the highest number of wins in the last calendar year as well. I just feel like that was really, really good for him. He came out with Travis Scott. That is Travis Scott, right? I don't know too much about him. To be honest, and again, it's not an insult. First time I heard of Travis Scott, I heard that he was a rapper that had like some kind of McDonald's meal named after him, the Travis Scott. I can't remember what it was. And I remember going, or not holy shit, who in the holy pineapple is Travis Scott? I just didn't know who he was. Then I heard that he makes music. I was like, okay, that's cool. So they came out together. That was cool. I think he was smoking a joint inside. I don't know if you're really allowed to do that or if it was just a cigar or something. I didn't really pay attention to it. Either which way, this was a nice match. And then we end it with using one of JR's lines. This was an all-out slobber knocker. CM Punk defeats Seth Rollins. And it was just, to me, it felt like a main event match. For me, it did. It truly felt like it. So, overall, like, I had an absolutely amazing time watching Raw last night. Because it was on Netflix. I had the app. I just laid back in my bed on my iPad. And it was just great. It felt long, but because normally I record the shows and I like skip ahead sometimes a little bit through the commercials naturally. This one was like really well made in terms of the commercials as well. Like it was quick. Everything is scripted around commercials as well. So it's not like you're missing out on anything. You're not going to have any pinfalls or submissions happen during commercial break. And when it started around 8 o'clock, well, not around, it started at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think it had like stopped at like 11:07, 11:08 p.m. So just a little over 3 hours. And again, that goes back to that thing where they're not on a strict, it's got to end right at the millisecond that it turns 11. They can keep going an extra couple of minutes if they need to. If it ends up being a couple of minutes short or 20 minutes short, then it ends at whatever time, 10:40 or something like that. So that flexibility is really nice. Overall, I'm really hyped. I'm really excited, and I'm going to make another video actually right as soon as I'm done this video. By the time I publish it and you're watching it, you know, the 3 people that'll watch it, I am going to talk a little bit about 2K25 because there are some real official screenshots of some superstars, and you can add it to your wish list now. It's going to be coming out soon. There's no release date as far as I know. And I'm just going to make a quick little video on that so I can get an extra like 20 views on my channel. And yeah, and that's that. That to me is something that's time sensitive. So I'm not going to wait on that. There's already been people talking about it since last night, but I was tired. I wasn't going to like run to my computer and go, look, here's a screenshot. Like, it can wait. Okay. So thumbs up as always if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and trying to make me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up on the internet. It's a lot more than just a happy feel-good moment of seeing 1 or 2 likes on one of my videos. If you want to give it a thumbs down because you didn't like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. You'll eat a knuckle sandwich from CM Punk. Remember how he had the ice cream sandwiches? When I was going to have the Punk sandwich. 5 knuckle. Punk sandwich. Punk. Anyhow, you get the idea. Maybe I should have just stuck to the Solo Sikoan spike in the derriere. If you want to subscribe, naturally, that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And if I'm lucky, maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.